In this video, I'm going to simplify Incoterms for you. FOB, XWork, CIF, DDP. If you ever seen this ladder on Alibaba code and had no idea what they mean, this is the video you need to watch. Every time you purchase something from China, you and your suppliers need to agree on one simple thing. Who does what? Think about it. Ordering food, you can pick up yourself at restaurant. It is cheaper, but you do all the work. You can get it delivery to your building lobby. More convenient, but you are not choosing the driver. Or you can get it delivery straight to your couch, the most comfortable option, but also the most expensive one. Incoterm work exactly the same. They decide who pays, who ship, and who is responsible if something goes wrong between the factory in China and your doorstep. There are total 11 Incoterms, but you only need to know the basic 4. I will break down each one with real numbers from shipment we handle every single day. And by end of this video, you will know exactly which one to pick up for your situation. So let's start with the one that trips up the most beginners. EXW, it stands for XWork. And the easiest way to understand it is when a supplier calls you XWork, they are basically telling you, your product is ready. It is sitting in my factory. Come and get it. That it is. They are not loading on the truck. They will not bring you to the port. They will not taking care of the export paperwork. Nothing from the factory door to your front door. Every single step is your responsibility. Now here is why it matters. On Alibaba, almost every price you see is XWork. And if you are new to this, you see $3 per unit and you think it is your cost. It is not even close. Let me show you what actually happens. Say you order 1,000 units at $3 price, XWork from a e-Wolf in factory. That is $3,000 for a product. Sounds very good. But now you need a truck to move this goods from the factory to Port of Ningbo. That is about 150 or more, depends on your freight orders. Then someone has to take care of the export custom paperwork. Another $80 or $120 depends on the freight forwarder again. Then there will be a loading fee at the port. That is THC, terminal handling charges, or other fee that will cost you. And you are not even on the ship yet. You're already spending $300 to $400 over your budget. And then you still need to pay for the ocean freight, insurance, import customs on the side. And the final delivery to your address, that's $3 per unit. In reality, it's close to $5 to $6 once everything is up. Your cost is just double, and it is your margin were tight, they're gone. This is why almost everyone in the industry, importers, freight forwarders, us included, will tell you exactly the same thing. Go with FOB instead. FOB stands for free on board. Here is what it means in a simple terms. The supplier takes care of everything in good China. They pick up the goods at the factory, they arrange the trucking to the port, they handle the export paperwork as well as the export custom. They load them on the vessel, done. From that part on, once your goods is on the ship, it becomes your responsibility. That is the official hand off the point under the Incoterms 2020. Now why is FOB the better option? It is quite simple. Your suppliers does every single day. They have contract with the local trucking companies. They know the export procedures inside out. They got volume discount that you will never get it as a small buyer placing one order. So when the suppliers handle the China side, it is faster, smoother, and usually cheaper than if you try to arrange it by yourself. And here's the part that surprised more people. The FOB price is higher than the XWork price. Obviously, because the suppliers including the logistic cost in the code. What you need to spend doing it yourself under the EXW, FOB is almost always end up being cheaper. I see it all the time. I buy and get it, XWork code and $2.80 and the FOB code on $3.20. EXW because they look cheaper and they end up spending $3.50 just on the China side. The 40 cents they bought, they save turn into 7% loss. Therefore, my recommendation is clear. Go with FOB. Compare with the full land cost, not just on the unit price. So now, if you want to go deeper on the FOB, how it works step by step, what to negotiate, what to watch out for, we make a full dedicated video on this topic. I will put the link right here and the description below. So let's move on to CIF. It stands for cost, insurance, and freight. With CIF, the supplier does everything FOB cover, plus they also pay for the ocean shipping fee and a basic insurance policy to get your goods to your destination. Sounds like a really good deal, right? The suppliers handle the shipping as well. Here is the drawback. When the suppliers arrange the shipping, they choose the route and they add their own markup on top of it. So you do not see any of that. You just get one bundle price. And let me show you why that is a problem. Some client who came up to me and say that a CIF code from his suppliers. When we broke down the numbers, the suppliers has changed nearly double the market price. The supplier was making more money on the shipping than the product itself. And my client has no idea because of the CIF, everything was bundled into one single number. Now, does that mean CIF is always bad? No. If you have a suppliers you work with for many years and you trust the shipping arrangement, it can work. The relationship is solid and the price is fair, then CIF is fine. But for most importers, especially for beginners, my advice is simple. Go with FOB. Pick up your own freight forwarders like SINO shipping. You will know exactly what you're paying for. And if you decide to use the CIF later with a supplier that you trust, you will at least have a benchmark to know if the price is fair. Now the last one, and this one is become really popular, especially with a dropshippers and small e-commerce seller, is DDP. It stands for Delivery Duty Paid. With DDP, someone handles absolutely everything for you, from the factory to your door, export customs, shipping fee include air or anything, import custom, tax duties, last mile delivery. You don't have to touch anything. Your product just show up at your warehouse. I understand the appeal. If you are running a small online store and you are ordering a few hundred units, you do not want to deal with the custom broker and the exchange code. That is the classification system custom used to figure it out how much the tax that you own on your product. You just want your good to arrive. DDP does exactly that, but it is worth to look that you need to be very careful, especially when the price look too good to be true. Here is what happened with cheap DDP price. A legit DDP shipment means your goods are declared to custom at their full value. The import duties are calculated on the declared value, and those are real costs that someone has to pay. When a DDP code is suspiciously cheap, it usually means the agent is under declaring the value of your product to the customs. They declare your 10,000 shipments as 2,000 value. Lower declared value means lower duties, which means a lower price for you. That sounds really good, right? Until the customer catch on, and they run an audit all the time. When they flag your shipment, your goods get seized, your shipment get fined, and in some countries, repeat offender can get banned from importing together. We have seen it happen. Some clients save 3,000 over 6 months using a cheap DDP service. Then a custom seized an 8,000 shipment and hit him with 4,500 fine. There's 12,500 gone because he tried to save the few $1,000s. So when does DDP actually make sense? When you work with a reputable freight forwarder who declare the full value, pay the real duties, and provide you with a proper documentation. So now here is something most people do not think about, and it might be the most valuable part of this entire video. When you choose an Incoterms, you are not just choosing who pays for shipping, you are choosing who controls the shipping. And the control matter way more than the cost. So start to think about this. Under FOB, you pick up your own freight forwarders. You decide who shipping line is, who carriers you want. You choose the route, the speed, and the insurance. If there's any problem, a delay, damage, a container stuck at port, you call your freight forwarders directly. You're in the loop. Under CIF or DDP, where the suppliers control everything, you are completely in their hands. There are some clients that use CIF for a furniture order. His suppliers is agent book with the cheapest route possible, 2 transshipment port, 55 days delay in total transit time instead of usually 30. The clients need the inventory for Black Friday. It arrived in December 18. Then the Black Friday is over. Christmas is almost over too. He lost thousands in sales. He will never recover. And there was nothing he could do because under CIF, the supplier had chosen the carrier and the route. So under FOB, he would have picked up the direct service for maybe 400 more than had his stock 6 weeks earlier. That is not a shipping delay. That is a business disaster. Before we wrap up, here is 5 common Incoterms mistakes we see all the time. Number 1, choosing the X work because of the unit price look very cheap. Product price is not the landing cost. Always ask for the FOB price as a comparison. Second, accept CIF without asking what are the actually freight rate is. Get a quote from an independent freight forwarders and compare. If there's a big gap, you know your suppliers is marking it up. And the third one, going with a cheapest DDP code without checking if they declare the full value. Ask them directly. If they hesitate, walk away. Fourth, not asking who control the transport, who pick up the carriers. who pick up the route? Who do you call if there is any delay? If the answer is always your suppliers, you are not in a control. And the last one, not verifying which Incoterm actually on your call. I've seen cases where the buyers think they are buying FOB, but the invoice said it's X work. If you are not sure, ask your supplier to clarify in written. Never assume. So here is my recommendation based on hundreds of shipments we handle. If you are a beginner and you want to learn the process, go with FOB. You will understand your supply chain within 2 or 3 shipments, and from that point, you are in control. If you are an e-commerce seller and you want the hands-off the solution, go with DTP with a reputable freight forwarder, not just the cheapest option you find on Google. If you are an experienced importer looking for optimized, FOB gives you the most control over the cost, route, and timing. You already know why. And for the most beginner, would say forget about Xwork or CIF. They trend to be create more problem than they solve. One last thing you may hear suppliers mention a term called DPU, delivery at place unknown. It replaced an older Incoterms called DAT in the past. You rarely see DPU when importing from China, but it is basically DDP without the import duties. The seller delivery and unknown your good, but you handle the custom side by yourself. The reason I'm mentioning here is that sometimes suppliers throw around the terms you never heard about. Sounds like more professional to them. So don't just nod along if you do not understand at all. Ask them to explain in simple terms. A good supplier will respect that. A supplier who try to confuse you with junction and not something that you want to do about. At the end of the day, Incoterms are just rules that decide who does what. They're not complicated when you understand them. But the terms matter less than the people. The best Incoterms in the world will not help you if your suppliers ship the wrong product or your freight forwarder messed their life. Learn the term, yes, but more importantly, invest to the right partner. This is what the difference between the importer who struggle and the importer who building a lasting business. So if you need to figure it out, which Incoterm works best for your next shipment, we do this every single day. There's a link in the description where you can get a free code. Just tell us what you are shipping, where it is going, and we will recommend the best seller for your situation. Drop a comment below and tell me what country that you are shipping to, and I will read it every single comment. Personally, I will give you the advice specific to your route. If this video was helpful, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Alright, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.